You are scrolling through Amazon, the screen glowing faintly. You see a tactical survival kit, $29. It has everything: a knife, multi-tool, paracord fire starter, a compass glowing in the dark tourniquet like the military. You click buy now. The silence feels heavier. You feel safer, you feel prepared, the weight shifts. You imagine walking out of the burning city, using these tools to build a fortress in the woods. Wake up. You didn't buy survival, only silence. You bought a coffin filler, not salvation. $29 of scrap metal false hope in plastic. Plastic that will snap in your hands when needed most. When the grid goes down, temperature drops below freezing. Physics will not care about your Amazon Prime membership. That cheap steel will bend, that tourniquet windlass will break. That paracord will unravel into fluff. No core inside. Here's what we're doing today. No illusions. Educational analysis of equipment. Failures, injuries, and fatalities. We are dismantling 7 items preppers buy without testing. These are not just useless tools, they are active threats. They are death traps disguised as gear waiting silently. If you have them, throw them out right now, before they cost you your life. Brutal physics awaits. We'll talk mechanical failure material, science, brutal survival, physics. No tomahawk sales here. Only survival, only truth. I'm keeping you alive long enough to learn why quality matters. Let's start with the most iconic lie in survival history. The hollow handle survival knife. You know the one. It looks like something Rambo used to fight an army. Compass in the cap, little kit inside the handle. It looks like a self-contained survival system. A promise. It is actually a structural catastrophe waiting to happen. And here's why Hollywood got it so wrong. A knife is a lever. Force against steel. Chopping wood, betoning logs, prying open a door. Massive force at the fulcrum point where blade meets handle. In a real knife, steel runs through the handle. This is called a full tang. One solid piece. Hollow handle knife has no tang. Only weakness. Blade glued or screwed into cheap aluminum or plastic tube. Strike blade against hardwood log. Stress concentrates at junction. It snaps instantly. Failure written in steel. Now look at your situation. The shadows are lengthening. It is getting dark, the temperature is dropping fast. You need a fire to survive the night. Nothing else matters. Broken piece of metal in one hand, useless tube in the other. No tool to process wood, no way to build shelter. You bought a toy. Now it has sentenced you to freeze. Throw it away. Get a full tang knife of high carbon steel. It doesn't need a compass. It needs to not break. In survival, you will abuse it. Physics demands durability, not gimmicks. Item number 2, the cheap Chinese multi-tool. You see them everywhere. 17 functions, 19 functions. 24 in 1. Pliers, screwdrivers, wire cutter saw. And maybe a bottle opener shaped like a fish. They cost $12, worth $12 of disappointment. The pliers are the first thing to fail. You grip a wire, apply pressure. The pivot pin shears off. Snap. The jaws no longer align, useless in your hand. The wire cutter dulls after one piece of copper. Steel hardness 30 Rockwell. Not 58 it should be. Not hard enough to cut metal. Barely hard enough for cheese. Screwdriver bits too soft, stripping out on rusted screws. Saw blade untempered steel, teeth stamped by a drunk intern. It will not cut wood, not plastic, barely cardboard. And the knife blade, a joke arriving dull. Sharpen it, steel so soft it rolls instead of edge. Here is what happens in the field. Repairing shelter, cutting cordage, stripping wire. You reach for your multi-tool. The pliers fail instantly. The screwdriver strips the saw binds, useless in your hand. 4 ounces of pot metal, wasted space in your pack. Get a Leatherman, get a Victorinox, something forged with care. Your life is not worth saving $12. Item number 3, the wire saw. You have seen them. Thin braided wire with metal rings. Included in almost every survival tin, pocket-sized chainsaw promise. Marketing claims you can cut down entire trees. This is a lie. You never test your gear. The moment you test it, you realize it is garbage. Try using one, sawing a branch thicker than your thumb. Friction generates heat. Cheap wire expands and binds in wood. You pull harder. Metal rings deform, snapping off in failure. Or the wire frays and breaks under tension. Useless in log. But it gets worse. 5 minutes of wasted effort. Energy expenditure astronomical compared to folding saw or hatchet. Burning precious calories fighting with a tool designed to fail. Calorie conservation is the game. Wasting 500 is fatal. If you need to process wood, carry folding saw or hatchet. Do not trust your life to a piece of wire. Item number 4. Fake paracord. Real paracord is kern mantle rope, core protected by woven sheath. The core gives strength, the sheath protects from abrasion. Type 3 military spec paracord, 7 inner strands twisted nylon, rated for 550 pounds. It stretches durable versatile. Use whole cord for tarp, strip strands for fishing snares. Sutures. Fake paracord has none of this. Polyester with 2 strands. The core has fewer strands, or worse, no core at all. Hollow tube of braided polyester. Looks like paracord performs like shoelace. When you load it, stretches excessively, not sliding loose. It loses strength, it frays. Strands too weak to hold. Too weak to hold anything heavier than a piece of paper. You are building a shelter in the rain. You need to lash tarp to trees using fake paracord. The wind picks up, cord stretches, not slip tarp collapses. Now you are soaked hypothermic furious, trusting polyester garbage. Real mil-spec paracord costs more. Buy it anyway. When you need cordage that works, it must work first time. There are no second chances in a survival scenario. So far we have seen hollow handle knives snap, cheap multi-tools fail. Wire saws waste your calories, fake paracord collapses when needed most. Now let us talk about items that will not just fail you. They will actively kill you, starting with worst offender. Item number 5. The counterfeit tourniquet. Genuine cat Generation 7 costs $35 to $40. Tactical tourniquet looks the same, but costs $8. You think you saved $30, but you didn't. You just priced your life at $30. And here is the evidence, straight from the battlefield. In April 2022, during an active European conflict, a 19-year-old soldier sustained critical lower limb injuries. A medic applied 2 cat-like tourniquets, compression tightening. During transport, the windlass failed. Compression was lost. High casualty to personnel ratio. Equipment failure unaddressed. The soldier did not survive. Investigation confirmed counterfeit. Here is what happens. Counterfeit tourniquet on major arterial injury. Ephemeral injury fatal in 3 minutes, seconds to stop flow. You crank the windlass, twisting stick to tighten strap. Real tourniquet windlass reinforced polymer, knock off cheap plastic. As you twist for compression, windlass snaps, pressure releases. Critical hemorrhage resumes. High stress situation compromises control. You try tension again. Mechanism broken, outcome irreversible. Plastic formulation cheaper overseas. Irreversible consequence revealed. Genuine cat tourniquet requires 2 to 3 rotations for occlusion. Counterfeit can take 10 rotations, if occlusion achieved at all. Real cat buckle, robust, slightly curved. Fake buckle, weak bendable. Real seam sonically welded. Counterfeit seam stitched or glued. Genuine strap 35 inches. Fake often 5 inches shorter. Most telling, if paid less than $30, it is fake. Medical gear is not the place to bargain hunt. A tourniquet must withstand extreme pressure without failure. If you have unbranded tourniquet, cut it up right now. Buy from reputable supplier, North American Rescue Authorized Distributor. Physics does not negotiate with Chinese plastic. Your life does not get a second chance. Item number 6. The budget hatchet with soft steel. You see a hatchet at hardware store, $15. It has a rubber handle, it has a wide blade. It looks tactical. You buy it to chop wood. Here's what happens the first time you use it. You swing at a piece of oak, the blade bites in. You pull it out, the edge already dull. You swing again. Blade does not split wood, it bounces off. You swing harder, steel edge deforms, it bends. Steel not hardened properly. Rockwell hardness far too low. Blade made of mild steel, or stainless with insufficient carbon. Stainless resists corrosion, but 420 has too little carbon. That is soft steel. It will not hold an edge. It will roll and chip under stress. A proper hatchet or axe uses high carbon steel, something like 1055 carbon steel, or 5160. Hardened to 56 to 58 Rockwell, edge retention and toughness. Cheap hatchet uses scrap steel. Heat treatment inconsistent at best. Result is a tool that looks like hatchet, performs like hammer. You are in the woods. You need to process firewood. Cheap hatchet bends and dulls after only 10 swings. No way to split kindling. No way to build a fire. $15 wasted. Nothing but a paperweight. Do not buy tools based on price. Buy them on steel quality. Fiskars makes budget hatchets. Estwing makes bomb-proof steel-handled options. Avoid $10 tactical tomahawk. Paracord handle skull logo. That is not a tool. That is a costume accessory. If this kind of analysis interests you, subscribe. I dig into equipment failures, real-world testing because this matters. No fantasy prep talk, no gear worship. Just looking at what actually works when it needs to. Item number 7, the survival kit in a can. Also known as the Sardine can survival kit. It looks dense. It rattles with promise. You open it up, what do you find? A handful of matches, razor blade, tiny pencil candy, band-aid fish hook. This is not a survival kit. This is junk drawer debris. Disguised as preparedness. Here is why it will fail you. What are you going to do with a razor blade in the woods? Shave cut down a tree. What is a single band-aid for? A paper cut maybe, but a serious laceration makes it a joke. If you have a broken leg, a fish hook will not help. These kits sell fantasy of minimalism, survival with trinkets and wits. This is a lie, selling products to people never outdoors. Survival requires calories, hydration, thermal regulation, and first aid. You cannot fit filter shelter trauma kit into sardine can. You cannot carry enough matches. You cannot fish with one hook. You cannot start fire. Striker has no spine to scrape against. These kits are psychological comfort objects. False preparedness. They make you feel prepared without preparing you for anything. Building your own kit, the only way forward. Select each item carefully. Reliability, weight, necessity. Know exactly what is in your bag because you put it there. Test every single piece of gear in realistic conditions. If you haven't used it in rain, it doesn't exist. Bought for less than sandwich, it will probably kill you. Do not outsource survival. Lowest bidder kits will fail you. The overarching theme here, commodification of survival itself. The industry has turned into an advertising nightmare. Thousands of factories pumping out anything that looks tactical. Credit card knives, ninja stars, paracord bracelets with false compasses. Skull logo slapped on pot metal, called a survival tool. They do not care if it works, they care if it sells. $9, $12, $29 for a kit. It looks like a deal. It is not, it is a scam. And here is what makes me furious. Companies spent decades engineering tools, metallurgy, heat treatment, quality control. They test products until they break, then redesign so they do not. Now they compete with disposable garbage, costing 1/10 the price. They must prove they are not garbage. Justify $60 knife. Tactical survival knife for $8. Burden of proof on wrong side. The industry wants you to believe safety can be bought for $29. They want you to believe gear replaces skill. Gear is a force multiplier. 0 multiplied by anything is still 0. Bad gear is worse than 0. It subtracts from your chances. It wastes your time. It wastes your energy. It shatters confidence. Backpack feels full of preparation, but it is full of lies. Look at your gear pile. Be honest with yourself. How much of it is rugged, tested, essential equipment? And how much is tactical junk, bought because it looked cool? The apocalypse will not be an unboxing video. It will be cold, wet, dark, and violent. The wind will howl, the rain will turn to sleet. Your fingers will go numb. You do not want the wire saw. You do not want hollow handle knife counterfeit tourniquet. You want boring, ugly, heavy tools that work. You want full tang steel, real paracord verified cat tourniquet. Strip your kit down, remove the toys, test everything. If it breaks in backyard, it will break in the field. If it bends with normal force, it will snap under survival force. Factory made 10,000 units daily. No quality control, guaranteed failure. Survival is not a shopping spree. It is a discipline. First rule of discipline, identify the weak link. Right now, the weak link might be inside your backpack. Find it, destroy it. Replace it with physics-respecting gear. When the lights go out, no returns, no refunds, no support. There is only you, your gear, and brutal truth of elements. Don't let $8 purchase be reason you miss sunrise. Before you go, a critical reminder. Information provided is educational, based on failures and safety research. This content analyzes incidents to help informed equipment decisions. For guidance on survival, consult certified professionals and agencies. Laws and best practices vary. Regulations change over time. Do not treat serious injuries without proper medical training. Verify everything trained properly. Never rely solely on internet videos. Bottom line, test your gear today. Replace the junk. Invest in quality where it matters. Most importantly, learn the skills that make gear work. A full-tang knife in skilled hands worth more than gadgets. 1,000 tactical gadgets mean nothing if you never start a fire. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Survival is not about having the most gear. It is about right gear and knowledge to use it. When everything else fails, stay safe out there.